What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say urban fantasy? Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of Instagram stories for authors. In this video, I'm going to talk about engagement and how to create stories that are engaging and are conversation starters to get your readers and your new followers to engage back with you, to answer questions, and to constantly be interested in what you have to post. In part 1, I talked about visibility and how to attract eyes to your profile to get them to be interested in wanting to follow you. If you did not see that video, I urge you to just stop watching and go back and watch that one, because that is the step that you do not want to skip. So what happens during the engagement phase? The point of this phase is to inspire your readers to think about the questions that you're asking and to easily reply to your stories so that they end up in your DMs, your direct messages. That way, you have them one-on-one and you can just chat, naturally converse with them like if you were just talking to a friend. At this point, do not try to push your book. Do not try to sell them anything. Just talk naturally and form a relationship, form a bond. That's the point of the engagement phase. At the beginning of this video, I asked a question. What comes to mind when I say urban fantasy? You can go ahead and replace that with whatever genre you write in and send it to your followers and see what they say. I'm thinking that for mine, they'll say werewolves, vampires, sorcerers, whatever. Maybe they'll even say Harry Potter. Why not? Let's go ahead and make that story and I'll show you how. Okay, so here we are in the stories interface of create mode. And really quick before I start, let me just show you the things that you can do. You can do polls, ask a question, so where they have to hit just yes or no. I love this one because you can ask a question to see what they feel about something, anything you can ask, and then, you know, the lowest, and then they can ask, yay. They can even add, you can add the angry face, fire, whatever you want. That way, it is something simple that they can respond. You can create a quiz, put in your options. I mean, maybe you've seen all of these, maybe not. But the reason why I'm saying them is because I really recommend using the ones that they have already instead of just asking a question and letting your followers send you a DM manually in order to respond. It's just psychology, you know, if people are just kind of scrolling and vegging out, and if they have to think too much on how to respond to you, most likely they're not going to respond. And the whole purpose of this is in order to create engagement, create thought, and have them actually responding to you in the direct messages, to where then you can continue your conversation. So what do I want to do? What I want to do is ask a question. The question from before. What comes to mind when I say urban fantasy? And of course, change that to whatever genre you are in. I can make it bigger, add a sticker. I can use a Grim Reaper. Actually, yeah, sure, okay, because it's my thing. What does this one say? I'm dead inside. Okay, maybe not that one. Let's use a skull. And there we go. What comes to mind when I say urban fantasy, and then share it to your story. Like I showed you in the first video, you can always add hashtags. I didn't do it in this video because it literally just slipped my mind, but it is a good idea to do that. Okay, so here's one that we can do that adds just a little bit of branding. And this can be, you can use your book, you can use a picture of your face, you can use your publisher logo. And just for this, I'm going to use my publisher logo. I have a few books coming out and I don't want to do any spoilers. So just for this video, I am going to, use my Grim Reader, minimize him, and then here, that keeps wanting to pop up. What I'm gonna do, even though I like the black on black, just to show you, you can do this and change the background. That one's called Tokyo, which is a little bit less black. Here's gray. So it kind of matches your logo colors, which is great for branding, but you can also leave it like this, and I think that actually looks really cool. What you can do now is go to stickers, and you can go ahead and ask a question, ask anything, ask me anything, and move that up. Yeah, like that's fine. And then you can even add your hashtags like I had mentioned before. And remember that these hashtags, what happens is they appear up on the search in Instagram. So when somebody says, am writing, writers, authors, authors of urban fantasy, authors of Instagram, etc., and it shows all of the people, you will see the ones with the little ring, especially when they have hashtagged and put their bios are correctly. There's a hashtag on their bios. But if you're putting hashtags on this, that boosts you up to visibility. So you definitely want to do that. And there you have it, some branding on your Instagram story integrated with a conversational piece. So now that you've watched part 1 and part 2 of the Instagram for Authors or Instagram Stories for Authors video series that I'm making, then you know all about attracting eyes, visibility to your profile, and now conversation starters in order to create bonds with those readers. In my next video, I'm going to talk about actually selling your book. I know, up to this point, I have said, do not sell your book yet, do not sell your book. Okay, in the next video, we're going to talk about creating leads through those conversations, through those direct messages, so that when you launch your book, you actually make some sales on Instagram. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I have to create so many Instagram stories to get people interested in my feed and in my profile, and now I have to think of questions. What am I going to ask them? I mean, I just gave you one that, in this video that you could use, but that's only one. So don't fret. If you are feeling overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do as an author and building your author career, I have created 12 months of content for Instagram stories that you can also use for posts, and 12 months of newsletter prompts that you don't even have to worry about that either, plus over 700 hashtags to use on your posts and your stories on Instagram. Yeah, I literally spent weeks creating this content just for you. This is called Content Cash for Authors. It's so easy. It has everything that you need in order to build a following and also maintain them. All you would have to do is select the prompt that you want and copy and paste them into your story or your Instagram, and boom, that's it. It's done for you. You can even use a scheduling tool like Later. There's other ones that you want to use, but I prefer Later. And you can just create them all for the whole week or for the whole month. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And then all you have to do is just write, work on your books, because your Instagram game is already rolling. So highly recommend. And until then, I will see you next time for the next video. Ciao.